I'm Adora Crystal. Welcome to the Rich Queen podcast. I believe that we each came here to experience, create, express something so freaking epic. And I believe that your life and all that you create is your queendom. Your journey to rich living. Whatever that is for you starts now.
Dr. Stan is one of these people. We go way back. At one time, we knew each other as like, this is my brother from another mother. This is my sister from another mother. We'll have to talk about that. But Dr. Stan is a 10th degree black belt. He's in, I know the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame, but also a martial arts Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, Black Belt Hall of Fame. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yep. And
I retired 10 years ago as a heavyweight champion.
That's so cool. He's an evangelist. If you ever go to an event that is boring, Dr. Stan wasn't there because he has people breaking boards, doing backflips, leaving feeling supercharged and ready to take action. Hi, John. So Dr. Stan, okay, thank you so much for being here with me today and letting me share you with my peeps, whether you're listening to the podcast or you're watching live. So let's first talk about when did we first meet?
I think we first met, if I recall correctly, I was a keynote speaker at Success University, and during my demonstration of speaking, and I was one of the ones that helped also Matt Morris to connect a lot of people. And they're like, man, there's this lady that's like you, but she's a lady. and her name's Adora. And so she's like a connector like you are. And so you and I connected. And so it's been an incredible journey ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. First of all, I want to celebrate and congratulate. You're about to... a TV show is launching tomorrow, right?
Well, actually, let me see here. It's going to be Thursday.
Okay.
So Thursday at 12:30 and then 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. I'll be on 170 countries. It'll hit 89 million homes on the low end, 3.2 billion on the high end. And so we're just glad to be able to empower other people, right? And get the message.
Yeah, well, and what's that show about? I want to know.
It's all about breakthrough. That's why by the way, I said, why do they call me Dr. Breakthrough? Because breaking through is what I do. Why do they call me Dr. Breakthrough? Because breaking through is what I demonstrate when I break boards and bricks with things written on like fear and procrastination and doubt and low esteem. Why do they call me Dr. Breakthrough? Because breaking through is what I love to teach you. And so I put together what's called a 21-day breakthrough challenge. I've taken 43 years, Adora, of my best teaching and thought process and preaching on breakthrough, and I've distilled it down to 21 simple tips. Now, can I tell your audience what TIPS stands for? TIPS?
Yes. Tell me, I'm your audience.
to ensure prompt success. See, everybody wants to be successful. The problem is it's taking them too long. Many people are like walking to their success, or some are jogging, some are on a bicycle, some are on the bus. But my 21-day breakthrough challenge was designed to take them and put them on the jet to their success. And so it's world famous. I'm the founder and formulator. We've just been enjoying this. So these 21 simple points. So if you hit something with a hammer once or twice, it might not break. But 21 times in a row, something's going to break. So people are guaranteed to get one or more breakthroughs in 21 days or less. And Adora, I call it a new approach to a breakthrough. I call it micro coaching, because the videos are only 3 to 7 minutes. Most of them are around about 4 or 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
But everybody's got 4 or 5 minutes, and just 4 or 5 minutes a day, 21 days in a row, and people are experiencing great breakthroughs.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that more later. But this is what's going on in the TV show as well. It's 21
exactly.
days of breakthrough. And are you working with people live, or is it the audience?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're working with people, and then also we've done it all. Of course, this is a new age, and so to hit 170 countries, we do it electronically, also through video, right? And so we can expand our reach. So I've created, like I said, these videos, and they go out to people, and it's amazing what's happening. So it's just like what you do, just empowering people, right, to be the best version of themselves.
Okay, awesome. So we'll talk about that later. Congratulations on that, and I'm excited for you. So how did you get started in martial arts? Let's start there, because that's kind of a backbone of a lot of what you do, right?
Exactly. Well, I got started in martial arts, Adora. Believe it or not, I was a 6-year-old boy in the ghettos of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And For once, I was minding my own business. But a gang of teenagers came my way, and I was so afraid I froze in my tracks. I was literally paralyzed by my fear. And I tell people, you're either going to be paralyzed or propelled by your fear. Unfortunately, that time I was paralyzed. And they grabbed me, the guy, bam, punched me in the stomach. I'm a 6-year-old boy. They're teenagers. And they start beating all over me, Adora. Now, you can imagine I'm a 6-year-old boy. So, of course, I'm crying for mom. I'm crying for help. I'm just, I'm just in despair. And they're beating me up, and the guy picks me up and slams me on the ground. Again, I'm a 6-year-old boy. They're a gang of teenagers. And they start stomping on me like I'm an ant or a roach and start kicking on me. And Adora, by the time I'm bleeding from everywhere I could bleed, you would think that would be enough. But it wasn't enough. So one guy flipped me over on my back, took a great big old bucket of tar, poured it on my face, poured it on my body. They took a bunch of feathers. They threw them on me, and they left me there literally out in the middle of a field to die, a 6-year-old boy. And thank God somebody finally found me, rushed me to the hospital.
Wait. I need to back up because I feel like you've probably told this story so many times that it's like happening so fast. But so you're 6 years old. You're just walking in the neighborhood, and these people
I'm playing in a playground, just out in the middle of a field.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't a real playground, just a field. And I'm just out there playing by myself.
And then a bunch of teenagers just come up and grab you and start doing all of this stuff.
Exactly.
Tar and feathers. That's like something that I didn't even know, I thought that was way old school.
Yes, this is back in 66. So it was a little bit maybe before your time.
Yeah, but still, oh my gosh, how terrible and terrifying. So what happened? So they tar and feather, and then they leave you there?
Yeah, then they ran off, and of course, I couldn't see anything, right? The tar and feather, and like I said, that just somebody found me and rushed me to the hospital. But I do remember this in my 6-year-old mind. Now, this is powerful. I remember saying, this is never going to happen to me again. I'm going to learn how to protect myself. I mean, this is what I'm telling people. We don't even understand how powerful God made us. But in my little 6-year-old mind, I did that. When I made that decision, all of a sudden, God started orchestrating things. So in my breakthrough challenge, matter of fact, I'm just going to throw, this is day number 4. One of the things I teach, and I have the students memorize this and what I call internalize it. That is this: once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But when I ask, how can I, my mind keeps searching until it finds a way. There is a way, and I will find it. And if not, by the grace of God, I will invent it. So here I am, a 6-year-old boy, and I said, this is not going to happen. I'm going to learn how to protect myself. The next thing you know, quote unquote, what they call coincidence, which is God's way of remaining anonymous, my mom wants a free month of karate lessons. Now, I've got 5 brothers. It was 3 of us back then. I'm the only one that went with her. It was Shotokan karate. They were kicking and chopping and screaming. And I'm watching this. I'm thinking this is great. Her free month runs out. So she starts paying money because she's serious. She's paying month after month.
Well, because her baby, she saw what happened to her baby. So she's motivated to figure out how to empower you too, right?
Well, but actually, like I said, I don't know how she did it, but she won a free month of karate lesson somewhere.
Right.
And when she started it, I went with her. Now, my other brothers, none of them were interested.
Okay.
But I went with her, and I'm watching. I'm fascinated by it. Of course, I made this decision, right? This is what I'm trying to get your audience to understand. You don't understand how, even in your youth, how powerful your mind is. Because I made the statement, this is not going to happen to me. I'm going to learn how to protect myself. And now things are starting to align. And so she's taking this class. And so the free month is out. She could have quit. She could have said, okay, God. But she said, no, I want to keep going. So she starts paying her money month after month. She gets better. And one day she got what I call too good. Now you got to ask me, what's too good?
What's too good?
Her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out cold.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
So when I saw my 5'1" mother knock out a 6'1" man, I said, I don't know what this karate stuff is, but whatever it is, I got to learn it. But she knocked this guy out, Adora. He's laying on the ground. I look at my brother Ronald. Ronald looks at Lonnie. We look at the guy on the ground and we say, man, whatever you do, don't mess with my mama. My mama's bad, man. My mama's bad. But it dawned on me, whatever this karate martial arts stuff is, if it could do that, This is what I needed. And so I got started again. I just want to learn how to protect myself, and I wanted to learn self-defense. And they said, no, first we got to teach you self-discipline. I was like, no. I just want to learn how to fight. And they said, no, if we teach you self-defense without self-discipline, you'll be like an uncontrollable weapon, and you can not just destroy others, but you'll destroy your own self. And so I remember saying, I don't know what the self-discipline is, but if I got to learn that, I want to learn it. And that self-discipline, though, was the thing that changed my life forever. But that's how I got started in martial arts. And again, everybody else, they're kind of working out, but I'm giving it everything, every punch, every kick. They're like, dude, relax. But they didn't know what I've been through. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I want your audience to understand this again. When you just make a decision, when you make up your mind. As a matter of fact, the meeting I'm speaking at tomorrow in Atlanta, there's a big group here, and my 13-year-old son, John, he's gonna speak a little bit. He's gonna break his board, and then he's gonna tell him about the book that he wrote. Right. But the thing he's going to tell him is once you make up your mind, and I have him personalize it. So he said, once John makes up his mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in John's favor. When John says, I can't, his mind stops trying. But when John asks, how can I, his mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There's a way. And John will find it. If not, by the grace of God, John will invent it. So when his mom or I asked him to do something and he thinks he can, whatever, I'm like, John, what's the quote now? Come on, make up your mind, say it.
Yeah.
And it's changed our life, our family's lives. It's changed the lives of people that embrace it. But Adora, and that's what you live also, but I'm just saying, we don't understand the power of a mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And all life is waiting for people to do is make a decision.
Yeah, Dr. Stan, listen, here's the thing. We've been studying for the years that we've been studying. We've had our experiences. We've had amazing opportunity, connection, profound opportunity. So we believe this, but even with that, I find it's a daily conditioning. That's why I watch, who am I hanging around? What things am I putting in my mind? Because you can get, even if you know all this stuff, it is a daily thing, like taking a shower or brushing your teeth, or you've got to constantly be taking control of your mind, right?
Yes, I call it responsibility. I break down the word responsibility, respond with ability. But it's just like goes back to the martial arts. You know, they taught me these techniques and I said, hey, sensei, that's Japanese word for teacher, instructor. And I learned Isshin-ryu karate, by the way. And by the way, like I said, there's less than 100 of 10th degree black belts out of 7.5 billion people in the world. I happen to be one of them.
That's
so
cool.
I tell people within your pain is hidden power. But here's the difference, Adora. We went to karate practice, which means we went and we worked on the same thing. We worked on it over and over again. One time I remember saying to my sensei, I got this. He said, no, you don't. I said, no, sensei, I got it. I said, I could do it with my eyes closed. He said, no. You got to keep doing it over and over again until it becomes literally part of your subconscious that you, without you even thinking, it automatically happens. And that's, I think the difference is people, especially in personal development and so forth, they want to learn, like you said, but they're not willing to put the time in. And one of the things I teach people in my 21-day breakthrough challenge is that the master has failed more times than the student ever thought of attempting. Ooh, can I say that again? I said, see, people, they don't understand. See, they just look at you, they look at the people that you interview and they think, oh, if I could just be like those people. Well, actually, my friend, you just have to continue to work on practice on things. So the master has failed more times than the student ever attempted. And so my friend is, like you said, you got to keep on and working it. And, you know, when I do my martial arts demonstration, people said, man, when you break those bricks and you lay on the nails and they break those 150-pound bricks of stomach off off your stomach with a sledgehammer, it looks easy. I was like, if you've been doing something for 43 years, it looked easy too.
Well,
right?
yeah.
But you're right. You got to, and that's why you got to have mentors and just helping to pour into your mind. But also, you've got to learn to take things that maybe you already heard and be willing to rehash and go over it again and again and again and again.
Again and again. Best ball players drill the basics, right?
Yeah, before Jim Rohn passed away, I was speaking with he and I and my main mentor, Bill Bailey. They both are passed now, bless their heart. But I remember Jim was speaking right before I spoke, and he said this. He said, what he loved about speaking, he said, not only is the audience changed, he said, but oftentimes the speakers change, because if the speaker speaks, I call it with a listening ear, the speaker hears themselves saying to the audience, but they pick it up themselves, and their own life is enriched and enhanced by that. And so that's another reason why I take every speaking engagement. I'm like, man, I'm getting personal development and I'm getting paid to actually help myself to be better while I help others.
It's so true. Well, even, there are so many great texts the Bible talks about, but there's the whole as a man speaketh, so is as he thinketh, so is he. But blessing and cursing flow through the power of the tongue. And it's not just what you say, it's your thoughts. And that has a vibration that lives out in the world. I look at it like when you're in service to someone else. And I have a lot of people who are in the service industry, either as coaches, healers, teachers, entrepreneurs, when you're in service to someone else, there's one way that you can do it where you feel depleted. You'll hear these people say, oh, I just give so much, I'm depleted. That's when you're pulling from your own well. But what we're talking about is when you tap into God, when you tap into spirit, you tap into source, and you pull from that well, that beautiful energy of healing or love, you are the vessel of it. You drink of that energy in order to pour it, and you're not depleted in that way. Not that you don't need recovery, reflective time to be by yourself, but it's actually energizing, rejuvenating, it's life-giving because you're not pulling from your own deeper. And so it's a core distinction that I think people in service, I've had to learn over the years. And I think it's an important one because you have people draining themselves. And what you're talking about is like, no, you actually, as the teacher or the person in service, receive so much of that. So I want to know, how did you go? And I know I've heard these stories before, but it's been years since we've had a good talk, right? So how did you go from, so you ended up being in martial arts, loving it, obviously excelled, got your 10th degree black belt. There's only less than 100 people in the world that have that. So you're rare and still holding that record, because that was years ago. I heard that number too. So when did this transition happen where you started using martial arts as a way to teach, and why did you do that?
Well, that's interesting. Great question. Because see, here's part of the thing. See, what we hear, we tend to forget. What we see, we tend to remember. What we experience, we never forget. So sometimes I ask people, "Is it okay if I give you a breakthrough hug?" And they're like, "What's a breakthrough hug?" Well, they don't know. And I say, I reach my hands out. They reach their hand. I grab them with one hand, pick them straight up, right? And I say, most people are trying to put people down. My life is dedicated to picking people up. And so here's the thing: they never forget this guy that picks them up with one hand, right? I've had 250-pound guys, but pick up. So it's creating experience. So what I realize is that the martial arts, first of all, especially young people and men. Women too, but especially, it's like this rough stuff. This guy, it grabs their attention, it makes them, and then not only that, Adora, I noticed, and I didn't even know all this at the beginning, but it separated me from what a lot of other people were doing. And so actually, my pastor years ago, he said, "Look, I'd love for you to give a testimonial and do a demonstration." I said, you to pastor, but you want me to break bricks and boards and stuff in church.
Wow.
That was back.
That gives me chills. Yeah. Just because it's one of those moments that is a crossroads moment, that everything, I'm just rolling in chills. Those are holy moments when someone, go ahead. So he says to you.
And you know what's funny? I just told the Lord, I said, "Lord, I don't have to have this martial arts stuff. I love you now, and now I'm a Christian, and more than that, I'm a kingdom person, but I was and I remember saying, I'm willing to give this up. Now this is powerful. And here it is, my spiritual leader asking me to do the thing I'm willing to give up in church. That never been, I'd never heard of anything like that before, right? And so I said, "But you're sure." So I do the demonstration. Extra people come, they hear about this guy going to break boards and bricks at church. And I give my little testimonial, and it's amazing what happens. And people are asking me for my number so they can have me come speak to their group. And I went to my pastor. I said, "Pastor, he said, "God's opened doors. Go speak," right? I didn't know it, and that was starting my road to evangelism. Now I've spoken and preached in all 50 states and 28 countries, right? But when I noticed that when I write things on the board, for instance, like fear and procrastination, I say, look, when I break this board, this is a symbol of psychologically, you need to say, I'm going to break. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. So what happens, Adore, it produces experiences that people never forget. And especially when I involve them, right? Audience participation. But then when I bring them up and I
broken a board with you. Yeah. Or I think it was like that. Yeah.
And I think the one you were at was an event where an 81-year-old woman came up and broke a board without any injury. And it was like the crowd went wild, right? And so, but anyway, so it's been an evolving process the whole time. And then I was speaking at Howard University with Dr. Willie Jolly, and he said, Dr. Stan, he said, branding's everything. I know you got a doctorate degree in divinity and you got a PhD in martial arts and a few credits away from a doctor of naturopath. He said, but you should be Dr. Breakthrough because you experience more breakthroughs than anybody I know. You explain it better than anybody I know. And he said, you should be Dr. Breakthrough. He said, and when you speak to audiences, they seem to have breakthroughs. I said, man, I don't know if that's true, but I'll live the rest of my life to make sure it is. And it stuck. That was like 22 years ago. So now everywhere I go, I'm Dr. Breakthrough, right? I tell people it's Dr. Breakthrough, by the way. I can't provide the breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. But when people follow the breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides the breakthrough they desire and deserve. And the breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable.
Give us a breakthrough here. What's a breakthrough for everyone?
Okay, so the breakthrough for everyone is this. You've got to learn to come out of your comfort zone. See, your next breakthrough is on the other side of your comfort zone. And so what happens is this, my friend, people that experience breakthroughs. By the way, let me back up and say this. Think of somebody you respect. Think of somebody you admire. And I can tell you the only one little difference between them and you, and that is they've simply had more breakthroughs. That's it. So guess what, my friend? So they have learned to come outside their comfort zone. So somebody said I used to have a comfort zone where I knew I could not fail. The same for walls and busy work were really more like jail. I longed so much to do the things I'd never done before, but stayed inside my comfort zone and paced the same old floor. I said it didn't matter that I wasn't doing much. I said I didn't care for things like diamonds, cars, and such. I claimed to be so busy with the things inside my zone, but deep inside I longed for some sweet victory of my own. I couldn't let my life go by just watching others win. I held my breath and took a step and let the change begin. I took a step and with new strength I never felt before. I kissed my comfort zone goodbye and closed and locked the door. If you are in a comfort zone afraid to venture out, remember that our winners were at one time filled with doubt. A step or two and words of praise can make your dreams come true. So greet your future with a smile. Success is there for you. And your next breakthrough is on the other side of your comfort zone. I call that the magic zone. And so you got to commit to that and realize you are just one attitude and one corresponding action away from your next breakthrough. Oh,
this is really good. So I want to ask, so when I hear they've had more breakthroughs, the person you admire has had more breakthroughs than you. So when you're saying a breakthrough, that means some area of life that wasn't working.
Most of the time, a breakthrough, you have a breakdown, you have what I call overwhelming breakdown before you have an undeniable breakthrough. And most of the things in this world were declared impossible before they were done. Therefore, it takes a breakthrough mentality, meaning every time you make up your mind to do something, there seems to be roadblocks, there seems to be barriers, and most people shrink back from the barriers. Most people say it's too hard, it's too big, it's too much. But the people that experience breakthrough say, no, I'm going over it, I'm going around it, I'm going under it, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to learn from Dr. Breakthrough and maybe just break through it. So that breakthrough then, and the best way I can explain it is like the caterpillar that's ugly and moving slow. But guess what? It goes into this dark place, this lonely place, this seemingly impossible to get out of place called a cocoon. But after it struggles and wiggles and works, it eventually is able to pop out. And now it's a beautiful butterfly that's flowing freely through the sky. See, in order for the caterpillar to get to become a butterfly, get its breakthrough, it has to cease being a caterpillar. It has to be willing to go through being uncomfortable, being in this cocoon. But now the thing it dreamed it could never do, it's now able to do. And the breakthrough, I'm talking about financial breakthroughs. I'm talking about marital breakthroughs. I mean, I married the woman of my dreams. What I had in my mind as a dream, I woke, man, she's even more beautiful, more brilliant, more smart. I call her my ABCD. That stands for adorable, brown, caramel delight. Oh, yeah. By the way, we went to a restaurant the other day, and the guy said, would you like dessert? I said, no, I bought mine with me, 100% natural, no GMOs, right? But recently I built a team of 1.5 million people. And I never even dreamed I could have a team of 100,000. But so I broke through the 100,000 mark, then I broke through the 500,000, and I broke. So again, a breakthrough is like, it's like Roger Bannister. They said you couldn't run a mile in 4 minutes. It would explode your lungs. But Roger Bannister didn't believe what they said. And because of that, he kept working on it in his middle age, and he broke the sub 4 minute mile. And after he did that, others said, wait a minute, if he did it, I can do it. And they did it as well. And so I'm saying that everything, listen, everything in life worth doing was declared impossible by someone else before it was done. So the breakthrough means you're going to break through your own limiting beliefs, your quote unquote low self-esteem, your doubt, your whatever it is, you're feeling insufficient, whatever it is. So whether it's your relationship, whether it's your spiritual life, right? I mean, I used to see people preach and speak, and I used to say, I could never do that. Believe it or not, I used to be shy. I know it's hard to believe. And I said, I could never do that. And now I'm doing it, and I've been paid as much as $47,000 to speak 1 hour. But that's a breakthrough. Now people take me all over the world. So I never thought I could author a book. And now I actually have not just authored 8 books, but I teach other people how to author a book. That's called a breakthrough. So it starts with having a mentor that has you have a mental shift away from what you can't do and to what you do have, and leverage that to get to do the things that you couldn't do before. So a breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. And the operative word is the word seem, because sometimes my eyes and my senses tell me lies.
Yeah, I love that. I love the getting out of the comfort zone. It's like no matter where you are in the world, if today's the only day that you hear this message and this is the end of the road, hopefully they'll continue with us in other actions. It's get out of your comfort zone and do it fast, because the longer you put off that, then you've got, it's impending doom. You know what I think is crazy, Dr. Stan, is that, I like you, we have a lot of great people in our life, a lot of great friends, a lot of great colleagues, a lot of great mentors. We spend a lifetime developing those relationships. And I remember being younger and thinking that these people who had what I wanted, that they were fearless, that they were so confident, that they always felt sure of what they were doing. And but it's not that at all. You just get more comfortable with the feelings of fear and doing it anyway. You get more comfortable with the feeling of insecurity and taking action anyway, right? And yes, you get less fear around certain things, but new levels, new devils. It's not like it just all, right? What do you have to say about that?
Well, what I have to say about that is this. Every master was once a mess. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master. Mm-hmm. And whenever a mess becomes a master, you now have a message that if you market to the masses, you can make millions. And that's my story.
I love that. Right. I love the way you put those words together. You're so good at that.
But fearless, Adora, doesn't mean you have no fear. It just means you have less fear.
That's right.
And I like what somebody said, courage is simply fear that said its prayers.
That's right.
Somebody, was it Tony Robbins, I think, or somebody said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And then another powerful woman said, if the thing you fear, you must do to get your breakthrough, to get through it, right? And so I think we're saying the difference is this. It's a conscious effort and decision to say, I'm not comfortable with this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And after you do it enough times, the thing that you were uncomfortable with, now it becomes comfortable.
Right.
So what I'm saying is when a breakthrough happens, what it really means is what one time took a whole lot of effort now becomes almost effortless. It's like the rocket ship when it takes off. And there's so much combustion, so much energy. And those of us seen it on television, it's barely moving. But then it starts getting momentum. Now, and it goes faster and faster and faster. And right before it breaks through escape velocity, Earth's atmosphere, they tell me it rotates wildly. And if a rocket ship were human, it'd say, I can't do this anymore. All this work, it don't seem to be working. But a rocket ship doesn't go off its emotions. It goes based off its programming. So it does what it was designed to do. And the next instant they tell me, bam, it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere. Now that same rocket ship is going 25,000 miles per hour. And out of 1 million pounds of fuel, it's 95% from takeoff to escape velocity. But once it breaks through escape velocity, it will virtually use no more fuel for the rest of the trip. So when you get your breakthrough, a lot of people say that's 10,000 hours or whatever the case. But what it is the thing that was so hard for you now literally becomes effortless, right? And there's some people that still have the struggle, but they just learn to deal with it. But the real breakthrough, literally, when I started martial arts, I tripped over my own feet. I was like, this is like almost impossible, but I had made up my mind. And now I do it with such effort and such ease. Why? I've got my breakthrough, right? And that's what I'm telling your audience. See, some of you desire to be a speaker. You desire to be like Adora and to be able to help companies to 10x what they're doing in their sales. I remember I hated sales. I could never do it. Now I teach people how to do it, and I do it. People say, man, you're like so natural. No, I'm not natural. I've just done it so many times that now I have the breakthrough, that now it's easy. Why? Because I'm like that rocket ship. And so here's the thing, though, Adora. A breakthrough, everybody thinks it's sudden, but a real breakthrough is two things. It's both gradual and sudden. So the rocket ship didn't just get its breakthrough when it broke the Earth's atmosphere. It started when it took off slow. And folks, you don't know it. You're a breakthrough in the happening now. It's not that one day when it happens. No, it's happening now because you decided, because you took off, because you're on this show, because you'll go visit, by the way, my website, breakthroughtips.com, where I give free daily attitude adjuster to get your mind right. And then the 12 minutes to your breakthrough. So breakthroughtips.com. Adora, you may not believe the story. They may not believe it. I was homeless and I was phoneless. Now, homeless is one thing. Phoneless, that's a totally different thing.
In today's world, yeah.
Yeah, I had all my eggs in one basket, and that basket fell and broke bad, right? And so some people don't understand. Even sometimes masters even go through a messy situation. But it's like my main mentor told me, Bill Bailey, he lost 12 million in one day. I said, well, how'd you get over it? He said, I realized if I made it, I could make it again.
Yeah.
But I'm older, I'm wiser, so I can do it with less effort. And I was like, yes. And so being homeless and being phoneless, Adora, and listen carefully. A company called me. They want me to travel and speak for them. I said, I'll take it. They said, we didn't even tell you that. I said, I'll take it. Literally, Adora, 5 months later, I was living in a mansion, a mini mansion, and making 6 figures a month. So I'm telling you, folks, but what happens if you let your mind, you say, well, it's never, no, it's like, okay, I have the breakdown. Now I'm set up for a breakthrough. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it come true. And by the way, when you hit rock bottom, now you get to know that God's the rock at the bottom. And if you're on the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm glad you shared your site in case your phone goes out. I do want to ask you something else. So, you know, there's this whole thing of abundance and prosperity and that we're meant to thrive. And then there is also another thing people are battling with, which is, well, you know, am I greedy? You know, is it money focused? Money's the root. And even though logically I talk to people all day long, men and women, that say, logically, I know better. I know that if I have more, I can feed more, I can give people more. But there's also this line of, well, I followed the dream so hard, I left my family behind, right? So there are all these messages in society, be they religious or whatever. What is kind of your answer to integrating those things so that you can have that great family life, great spiritual life, and allow yourself to receive financial abundance?
Yes. Well, actually, that's really what the 21-day breakthrough is all about, by the way, is because that's one of the breakthroughs of realizing people that don't understand truth, they think you have to choose either or. I can have a good family, make a lot of money, or be a good person of integrity, or be spiritual. No, you can have them both. Right? Especially when you do it properly. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added. So guess what? I get to have it all if I do it properly. And that is have the right priorities and grounding and planting. And so the 21-day breakthrough challenge, which by the way, www.21daybreakthroughchallenge.com, 21daybreakthroughchallenge.com. They can see that there. And again, breakthroughtips.com, that's absolutely free. You're going to get the daily attitude adjust. You're going to get my 12-minute breakthrough interview where I talk about being homeless and phoneless and going through all that. And but 21-day breakthrough challenge is where I talk about that. But Adora, you're exactly right, because people aren't understanding, and so they think they got to sacrifice one for the other. And so one of the things my beautiful wife helped me to understand, that no amount of success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. And as a matter of fact, success in the home is the greatest foundation to build success in every other arena. Right? So it's when I come home, it's when, like you said, it's when you're having those second thoughts. And I had to learn to, by the way, to doubt my doubts. In my 58 years of living, by the way, the greatest thing I ever learned, most people who are unsuccessful, they doubt their beliefs. And then they start believing.
They doubt their beliefs, meaning they doubt their belief in their dream, their belief in their ability. So instead they're like doubting that. No, I can't do it. What was I thinking? Okay. And then they start.
Yeah. So they start doubting their beliefs, and then they start believing their doubts, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to have this great relationship. And then after a while, some struggles come. They're like, well, maybe it's not meant to be.
Oh.
And then eventually they get convinced it's not meant to be. That can't be. And not for me anyway. Maybe for other people, not for me. So they doubt their beliefs, and then they believe their doubts.
Whoa, that's big.
So you want to stop yourself when you start doubting.
Your core beliefs, I'm a loyal person. I'm in this marriage to the end. Like they start doubting that belief, right, and then believing their doubts. This isn't meant for me. Maybe I chose the wrong person, using that example. Okay. So when you're in the middle of that.
Right. Yeah. So you doubt their beliefs, and they believe, then they doubt their beliefs and they believe their doubts. But successful people, they learn to doubt their doubts. And then the rookie is
doubt your
believing their
doubts.
beliefs.
Ooh, I doubt that's true. I love that.
Sometimes when I'm ready to speak, something says, "Oh, you're not going to. They're not going to like you today." And I actually out loud will say, "I doubt that one."
Well, and that's what I love that, and that's what I was talking about. This, that yes, you get a rhythm. Yes, you're comfortable. Yes, you're more confident than ever. But it's a consistent process. Sometimes these little things creep in. You just get comfortable with how to handle it, right? So then you go, I doubt that one, and you say it out loud.
Right.
Yeah, and usually those are the most profound breakthroughs, right? The people probably needed you the most then. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm ready to break the brick, and something says they might not break this time. I'm like, I doubt that one. Bam!
Oh,
right?
that gave me chills.
Exactly. So folks, I'm telling you, the people that you think are super successful, they have the same doubt, same fear, same all that, except they learn to break through that. They learn to say, you know what? I don't believe that about myself. I'm not going to accept that about myself, right? I mean, there are people, somebody's struggling right now, and they just about to get out of it, just about to get the breakthrough, and something pulls them all the way back, and they're like, I just knew it wasn't going to work. No, you know what? One day I was driving on the highway, I stopped, opened the door, and I said, get out. And people are along the highway looking at me. There was nobody in the car, but guess what? Murphy was in the car. You ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
I said, get out of my car, get out of my mind, stay out of my house. And then I said, you know what? I don't like Murphy or his law. I'm making my own law, Dr. Breakthrough Law. And that is anything good. Anything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time. And Adora, 50 to 100 times a day, I say everything good that can happen will happen. It'll happen at the best possible time. Early this morning, before the sun came up, I said everything good that can happen will happen. It'll happen at the best possible time. Now, does everything good happen? It doesn't always seem to be good, but the more I say that, the more I see the good and what seems to be bad. Being beaten, tarred, and feathered was bad, but it was good because it drove me to do something. Now I understand within my pain is hidden power, and hidden power can be used to harness profits. And so it was a bad thing, but now with the right perspective, I see now it's a good thing. And when Joseph was sold by his brothers into slavery, he said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it or used it for good. And so I'm telling you, it's all about perspective. It's about reframing. And so, but here's the key. You got to get your mind in the right frame. machine, right? And so the mind is constantly trying to pull back, and my phone may blink out at any minute, but if it does, I love y'all. It was good being with you and Adora. But if not, but check out 21daybreakthroughchallenge.com. And listen, I want you to know you're looking at a former mess, and you're looking at a guy who still from time to time messes up. But the difference is I just get right back up, my friend. Somebody said weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. That's a lie. I've fallen down and got back up, fallen down and got back up, fallen down and got back up. And listen, my friend, and then there comes a time when you get up and it's like, you know what? It's not even worth the fall. I ain't taking that. I'm staying up, and I learned to do things that keep me on top side. So my daily attitude adjuster, it keeps me on top side. I say stuff like this: I'm too blessed to be depressed.
I love that one.
I'm too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated. I'm too legit to quit. I'm too grateful to be hateful. I'm too grounded to be confounded. And by the way, I'm too saved not to be getting paid. Why? Because business is booming and checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose. I choose to be.
I love it. Boom.
Let me breathe. Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, Adora, I'm just like you. You know what I tell people? I soar with the eagles. I run with the runners. Occasionally, I walk with the walkers. I don't have a whole lot of time to talk with the talkers. I'm not going to sit with the sitters. And by God's grace, I'll never quit with the quitters. So let me know which one you are, and I'll tell you what we can do. But I believe we're going to fly together. So remember, your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are now ready. Come on now.
Come on now, preach. You took us to church, Mr. Evangelist. Yeah, that's
Okay.
One more thing. No, but it's so important. It's so important. Your breakthrough is right here, right now, but it's a choice. It's a choice, right? It's a choice to get out of the comfort zone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was 17, I read a book by Abraham Lincoln. He said something that changed my life. He said, most people are about as happy as they make up their mind to be. And I was like, I got a choice. I'm like, oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to choose to be happy. Even if I'm miserable, I'm going to be happy because I know misery don't last always. Yeah. And there was a time I wasn't miserable. And if there was a time I wasn't, that means there could be a time I'm not again. And I just need to get up out of my misery and do the thing I need to do to get out of my misery. Right.
Yeah.
And so somebody said, if you're going through hell, don't stop.
Yeah.
Keep on going.
Exactly. Well, oh my gosh, I've enjoyed this so much. We could do 4 more of these on slow motion. the exact same everything. So we can break down every little piece. But yeah, definitely we'll do this again. I'm looking forward to your show.
Now slow down.
No, I love it. I know you've got a lot, but it's just there are pieces that you can chew on. You know what I mean? It's like having a meal. There's so much there that people can push replay. And that's what I would say is like, listen again, push pause. I can see people are going to be doing that because some of those things, when you sit with these high concepts and just let it kind of really sit with you, like, oh, doubting my doubts. Yeah. What if I did that? What doubts do I have that I could doubt? Yeah. Althea says super powerful. What, what beliefs should I be believing? Yes.
Can I say something to that lady? Here's what I love to do. That she said super powerful. Yeah. Is it
Althea? Mm-hmm.
Althea. Okay, Althea, can I say something to you? And that is this. If you can spot it, it's because you got it.
That's right. 1,000%. That's 1,000%
so
right.
Understand when people reject you, when people aren't, listen, don't that's their issue, not yours. Right? It's their issue, not yours. And you got to learn not to take ownership of something that's not yours. See, there's something called contributing factors, and there's something else called a determining factor. And what changed my life forever and gave me the biggest breakthrough was when I realized me alone am the determining factor. Everything else is just a contributing factor. And I used to give contributing factor power to determining factor, rather, and that was wrong. So I'm telling you, my friend, pain and adversity, for instance, causes some men and women to break. It causes others to break records. What's the difference? It's the perspective. It's the decision. It's I'm not going to let this contributing factor be a deciding factor of my success.
That's right.
And so that's what I want the audience to get. And so, Adora, I love what you do. I love the way you're empowering people. I love the way you connect people. I love the way you're effervescent and you allow somebody asked me one time, what do you do for a living? I said, I live life for a living, and then I empower those who are allowing life to live them to get a breakthrough so they can flip the script and let them start living life living.
Woo! Say your word. You're such a wordsmith. Hi, Dr. Stan. Yes, that's their issue, not mine. Amen. This was so good. Thank you, says Lisa. So that was Althea and Lisa. It's so powerful. One more thing, since your phone is still going, is that one of the greatest gifts I think we can give ourselves is high association. So running with other champions, right? Because we get to hang out with people like us. We're always at events. We're always with other speakers. We're always with other people that take this stuff to like the top degree, right? And we're searching for them all the time. I'd love for you to talk about why that's so important and how it impacts your world.
Well, Jeremiah 5:5 says, I'll get me unto the great men who've known the way of the Lord. Proverbs 13:20, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So the people somebody said you can take a horse to water, you can't make him drink. You can take a man to a book, but you can't make him think. And I say, but if you hang around the skunks, eventually you're going to stink. So I decided as a young person, I write about it in my book, Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed. And again, I talk about it in my 21-day breakthrough challenge. I decided as a youngster to be the worst among the best than to be the best among the worst. In other words, Adore, some people, they only spend time with people that make less money than them, that don't have as much. So they want to be the best, but they hang around the worst. Yeah. And so they can criticize everybody and feel good. But I decided to be uncomfortable and to be the worst among the best, because I knew that the best people, they would help pull me up to their level. And then I knew eventually I would become the best of the best, because I wouldn't give in. And so I give the illustration. When I started martial arts, I said, who's the best guy in the class? They said, guy over there. I said, that's going to be my partner. They said, no, he'll kill you. They wasn't lying. He almost did. Yeah. But guess what? I worked out with him all the time, Adora, and when we spar, and I couldn't even block. And then one day, I blocked one of his kicks. I mean, I never could hit him, but I blocked one time. And I was like, ooh, right? And then one day, he didn't make it to class, and I had to work out. And at the time, I think it was just a green belt. And this other guy was a brown belt, which is right next to black belt. And he and I worked out, and I cleaned his clock. He wasn't even any competition. And it dawned on me, I was working with this guy who was so high in level that I didn't realize my level was being raised, but I didn't see it because I was still with this high level person. But once I was put with somebody else who was supposed to be actually even above my level, they weren't even at my level. Wow. And so when you hang out with people like Adora, when you get the powerful books, when you take things like the 21-day breakthrough challenge, these things are designed to bring the best out of you. See, I've dedicated my life, Adora, to educating, elevating, empowering people to break to the best version of themselves, so that they can break through any barrier to their success. Yeah. And so my wife says we aspire to inspire breakthroughs even after we've expired. And because of your broadcast, even when I'm long gone, somebody is still going to see that crazy preacher guy that has so much energy, right? 58, and he acts like he's like 25 or 30.
Are you still vegetarian too? And crazy. Yeah. That's another show, right?
Everybody just give yourself a hug. It's like, I love, by the way, Adora, I didn't like me. And when I didn't like me, nobody else. When I started loving me, everybody else started loving me. So everybody, you ought to just say, by the way, I like being me so much. If I wasn't me, I want to be me. So give yourself a hug and say, I love me.
I love me. Thank you. And that makes up for the hug we're used to like saying bye with, right?
The breakthrough hug.
Breakthrough hug. I'll have to try that lifting you up. I don't know. I'm going to have to get like a brace around my waist for that. All right. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, it's Adora Crystal again. I hope you so enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you did, please share it with 3 friends right now. Please use the hashtag The Rich Queen Movement, because we are always giving away prizes to our tribe. And if you want to go deeper with us, be sure to go to therichqueenmovement.com and take the free class that we're offering. It's going to help you unlock massive gifts inside of your own DNA. Until next time, so much love.